employees and the contractors. So that also takes a lot from the city pockets.
The inquest into the deaths of 21 young people who died at the Enyobeni Tavern in June 2022 has been postponed to the 28th of October in the East London Regional Court. The postponement is to give time to witness Tembisa Diko, who was in an emotional state, to continue with her testimony. The evidence leader in the matter, Advocate Luvuyo Vena, has recommended that Diko seek professional help in the form of a psychologist. Sitima Mfeku reports.
Diko was a bouncer at Enyobeni Tavern on the fateful night. In a testimony on Thursday, she told the court that when she got the chance to go to the ground floor, she saw bodies of many patrons, including young people, lying on the floor. She testified that she used a pepper spray to disperse the crowd that was pushing them against the wall, placing her and her colleagues' lives in danger. She told the court that when she alerted tavern owner Siyakangela Ndevu of the uncontrollable crowd, Ndevu failed to intervene. Sidima Mfeku, SABC News, Mdantsane in East London.
And a BBC investigation has found that more than 700 people in the UK have posted on a pro-suicide website looking for someone to die with. The site, which the BBC is not naming, has a members-only section where users can look for a suicide partner. Investigations also found that predators have used the site to target vulnerable women. The top story at 1 o'clock, the Gauteng Youth Brigade has threatened to shut down the N3 highway between Gauteng and KZN next Thursday. For SAFM News, Ke Mulupima Khalemele up next, The Full Circle.
SAFM 104 to 107 nationwide, leading the conversation. SA Women's Struggles Journal. Hashtag Women's Month. Celebrating 30 years of democracy towards women's development, SAFM celebrates the power, resilience and brilliance of women. It's Women's Month, and we honoring the incredible contributions of women in our communities, our workplaces and our homes. Join SAFM in recognizing the achievements, strengths and spirit of women everywhere. Let's uplift and empower each other today and every day. SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. The Full Circle with Bridget Masinga, Monday to Friday, 1 to 3 p.m.
mean, it's quite difficult not to sing along when Msaki is on the airwaves. That is how we kick off this Friday afternoon show with Msaki. Imfana Ziyabona, and she's back into the swing of things. I think she's actually completing a project in California at the moment, and we can't wait to hear what she brings back home from all of those experiences and adventures. A happy Friday to you. We have got a jam-packed day, as you know, but on Fridays, siyakekeleza, and we take things nice and easy, and we tend to focus on all that is creative and artistic, and today is no different whatsoever. We're going to be catching up with the folks from One Groove and find out more about this music in Imbizo. Also coming up today, the conversation we were supposed to have yesterday around the 12th edition of the Africa Aerospace and Defense Trade Exhibition. That is coming up today, and then on the other side of 2 o'clock, we're going to catch up with Simpiwe Majozi, actor and comedian, and we wrap up the afternoon with our full access conversation with veteran actor Vusi Kunene is going to be joining us in studio. Much looking forward to that. It is the Full Circle with myself, Bridget Masinga, on SAFM, leading the conversation.
You're listening to Bridget Masinga on SAFM.
There is so much happening on the show. On Fridays, my producers always try and get me to do little things for them, which I don't do during the week because there's a lot of serious conversation that we undertake. So on Friday, I try to oblige them. And if you are streaming, then you would have seen one of my team, Zanele, with her pom-poms in frame as she took behind-the-scenes videos and pictures for our social media platforms. We do stream the show live across all of our social media platforms, so wherever you are, we are as SAFM as well, and we bring you all of that visual content for your enjoyment. Like I said, we've got a relatively easy lifting show today because it's Friday and we try to usher in the weekend as smoothly as we can, but there's a lot of conversation nonetheless, and we're going to be catching up with Rasmus Allen, who is the CEO and co-founder of One Groove, and we're talking about the Music Imbizo 2024. We'll find out what's on the calendar of discussion for this one. Rasmus, how are you doing this afternoon? Hello?
I'm good. Yeah.
Oh, there you are. Yes, now I can hear you.
Yes.
Are you good?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you for joining us. All right, let's get firstly, I guess, some context around the Music Imbizo 2024. Give us some history about this one, presented by One Groove.
Actually, the Music Imbizo is a music conference, and it's one of, I think, actually the biggest on the continent, and it's in Durban from the 28th of August to 30th of August. And it has been running for quite a few years, and actually it's not organized by One Groove, and it's actually the first year that we're joining, but what One Groove is working on is we're an organization based in Denmark and South Africa, and we are working with establishing cultural exchange between upcoming and established music artists from Denmark and South Africa. Mm-hmm. And we did so. We did a project in April, partnering with Cotton Fest and the Rick Foundation, where we brought together 7 Danish and 7 South African songwriters and music producers in Cradle in Nyrox. And after that, the Music Imbizo invited us to come to the conference and host a similar songwriting camp during the conference. So that's what we're doing now. So we're bringing back the Danish producers and songwriters and the people from South Africa, and we're actually adding a few producers and artists from Cameroon as well to the sessions this time around.
In fact, as you talk about the songwriters camp, I think memory recall is coming back, and we had a conversation around this earlier in the year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, we did. So this is now a sort of broader extension of that, as you say, including now various and a variety of other stakeholders, from producers, songwriters, top liners, vocalists, etc., within the music industry. Let's talk about the importance of sort of creating these spaces for creative and of course a business exchange between the three countries, Denmark, Cameroon and South Africa.
Yeah, definitely. And because songwriting camps is not have been around for a long time, but I think what also working with Rick Foundation, one of the very important thing that we try to do in our songwriting camp is to establish a really safe space for the participants, and try to focus on doing it in a healthy, sustainable way, like for the mental health, because that's where everybody feels safe. Everybody feels safe experimenting. Everybody feels safe expressing themselves, and that's where totally unknown and new music can happen. Because if everybody feels safe, open to experiment, the genres can blend and totally new things can happen, and that's one of the core values of what we're doing with these camps.
And you say that, one of your missions is to drive industry equality and innovation. Let's talk about that as well, just as tools that must not be forgotten in an industry that is as dynamic as the music industry, but that's also rapidly changing, and considering how fast technology is moving, and it's having to respond to it in order for it to innovate, and in order for it to also break new barriers and new boundaries.
Yeah. So what we're trying to do is, of course, to establish connections between us that wouldn't otherwise have happened, and that is between different parts of the world, but it's also between more established artists and more upcoming artists, because it's also one of the things we take with us from Rick, that gives the young people a chance, or as many chances as they need at any cost. And that's also what we're trying to do, to take these upcoming artists and put them together with established artists from their own part of the world or from other parts of the world, and to create opportunities to create music, but also business opportunities or career opportunities for everyone.
And by way of the commonalities, because one would not think that a Denmark, for instance, would have elements of commonality when it comes to whether it be the business of music or just even the creation and the sound of music. Let's talk about the common denominators across these territories that make this for an interesting and fruitful partnership and exchange.
Yeah, Denmark has actually, and the Scandinavian countries in general have actually, for many years, been very active behind the scenes in music creation, also in the US, and quite a lot of big hits have Scandinavian writers behind them, or Scandinavian producers. And so, an international sound is not is kind of, everybody in Scandinavia is familiar with that and is working with that. And then of course we have the language, everybody speaks English, so that's those things make it easy to work together with artists from other parts of the world. And but what is also very important is that South African music is hugely popular in Scandinavia at the moment, and it's just growing like rapidly. And I mean the camp we did in April, which was partnering partnering with the Association of Professional Danish Writers and Producers. They had never had and they do camps regularly, but they have never had a camp with so many applications as this one, which proves that South Africa is just where everybody wants to be at the moment. So that's it's great to have these opportunities to build these bridges between Scandinavian and South African musicians.
Well, one of the other sort of themes on the agenda for conversation during the Music Imbizo 2024 is also looking at addressing, some industry challenges and exploring practical solutions to attend to those. Let's unpack maybe in sort of the initial conversations, and I'm sure some things were brought up at the earlier songwriters camp earlier this year. What might some of those industry challenges be? And perhaps in which direction would you ideally as stakeholders like to see the conversations go that bring about lasting solutions that are beneficial for those who are in the business of music?
Yeah, of course, for the creators of the music, it's very important to get paid for their intellectual property or their creations, definitely. And I feel that there is we had at the last camp we had a conversation with Coda, which is similar, the Danish organization similar to Samro in South Africa, who are collecting money for the intellectual rights of the creators. And I feel that there could be more cooperation between these organizations internationally, and to have a more transparent money flow also. And what came up was also that it's actually possible for artists to have an organization in another country collect money for a certain territory. So you could actually go to a more direct way of a more direct pathway for your income. So that's one of the things. And also I think the organizations could be more demanding when they work, because all these organizations cooperate internationally, but I mean there could be more when they cooperate with the organizations from other parts of the world, it could be they could make some demands on clarity and transparency and stuff, which is not always that good.
I think the other thing, just as we wrap up our conversation, the other sort of point of business conversation that a lot of musicians, at least the ones that I've spoken to over the last 2 years, it's been big on the agenda for them to talk around things like streaming rights and royalties and remunerations, and as far as that is concerned. And I wonder if similar conversations are happening in Denmark. Obviously I'm not plugged into the music industry there. If similar conversations are happening in Denmark, and what are artists and record labels bringing to the table, and are they finding themselves especially around the business of these new streaming platforms, and can that conversation be extended to the context of not just South Africa, but I guess Africa as a continent, considering that we do have a lot of the major record labels here, operating on the continent, that operate globally, and also artists realizing that music now, because of us not, eradicating entertainment borders, music is accessible to anybody from anywhere in the world because primarily of these streaming platforms.
Yeah. So, of course, and I guess it's a similar discussion in South Africa that musicians are not paid enough per stream. And that makes it difficult to build a sustainable career. And you have to base most of your income on like live shows, merchandise, other partnerships and stuff. So, but when you look at, for example, Spotify, actually a Spotify stream in Denmark pays 3 times as much as a Spotify stream in South Africa. So what we are also trying to do is to the South African music creators working with the Danish ones we bring to South Africa, and I would say we will also make a camp in Copenhagen, summer 25, where we will bring South African artists to Denmark. It's also an opportunity for South African artists to get into a market where you get paid more per stream, simply. But I think for the streaming platform, they see that your subscription is more expensive in Denmark than it is in South Africa, and that way they can give more money. But I mean, all of these are global companies, so they could decide to make like an even pay in the whole world, but still have different subscription rates in different parts of the world. That's a choice they make. So I think these things are worth addressing also.
Absolutely. Rasmus, Ellen, thank you so much for the time this afternoon.
Thank you.
And I'm pretty sure you guys are going to have yet another successful gathering at the Music Mbizo 2024. As you heard, it's happening out in Durban. So if you are in the business of music and, it could be an opportunity for you to come through and get some well-needed knowledge, connections, as well as just discourse from various perspectives.
Definitely.
And that's happening at the end of the month. It's been a pleasure, and we appreciate the time with you today. And that, of course, was Rasmus Allen, CEO and co-founder of One Groove, and they're putting together the Music Mbizo in partnership with the Ricky Rick Foundation and other stakeholders, and it's going to be out in Durban at the last weekend of August and the first weekend of September. It's running that entire week from the 28th until the 3rd, and I'm sure you can get all of your information from the respective social media platforms. We're still going to catch up with the guys from the Africa Aerospace and Defense Trade Exhibition, and we'll find out exactly what's on the card for this year's edition around that. Also coming up, stages, pages, screens, and more today. And then on the other side of 2, because it's Friday, we have full access, and we've got veteran actor Vusi Kunene is going to be joining me in studio. He really just is one of those incredible South African actors, and he's been part of so many casts from the likes of Generations. He was Jack Mabaso in Generations for many, many years. I think he's actually just come back, if I'm not mistaken. He's come back to Generations Legacy now, right? So he's just come back there, and there's so many other things that he's done in our television screens. I mean, the list of his credits is as long as my arm, and maybe even far beyond that. He's also quite the thespian, having been on stage across theatres in the country for a lengthy amount of time as well. So we'll find out. We'll talk career, we'll talk family, we'll talk, just being on our screens every day. And the most fascinating thing about Vusi Kunene as well is, as much as he's been a part of some of the biggest productions on our television screens, he also seems to maintain some form of anonymity. I don't know how he goes about doing that, but it almost seems to me like he's managed to separate the public from the private, and I wonder, what's been the model around that. Let's take a pause, and then we'll come back on the other side of the headlines.
Feel Good Fridays just got even better with a brand new Espresso newsletter, The Feel Good Fix. Delivered to your inbox every Friday, it is your weekly dose of joy, entertainment, and local flair. Subscribe now at expressoshow.com and never miss a moment.
From heartwarming stories to tasty recipes, it's all there waiting for you. And remember to tune in to the Espresso Morning Show weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on S3, and let's start your day right and channel your inner feel good.
British supergroup Smokey is touring South Africa in September. Party of the year with Mexican Girl, Needles and Pins, and of course, living next door to Alice. Smokey in South Africa. Cape Town 18 September, Pretoria 20 September, Port Elizabeth 21 September, and Carnival City on 22 September. Bookings at ltickets.coza, 011 815 3000 or smoky.coza.
Our Tugs have a great plan to illustrate that they are not just intelligent students in class, but on the field of play as well. Meanwhile, the Zuma-based outfit want nothing except for 3 points to run away from the unpleasant zone. The capital city confronts eThekwini. This is the Hollywood Bet Super League. Catch the Mzansi Queens of the beautiful game, University of Pretoria Ladies FC versus Lindelani Ladies FC on Sunday 25 August at 11 a.m. live on SABC Sport on DTT Channel 4. Also available at your fingertips on SABC Plus and SABCSport.com. Hashtag We Love It Here. Brought to you by SABC Sport. For the love of the game.
Afternoon with the news headlines. Ke Mudupi Makhalemele. The SABC is expected to announce an improvement in its financial performance when it tables its annual report before Parliament next month. The Gauteng Youth Brigade has threatened to shut down the N3 highway between Gauteng and KZN next week. And doctors have begun testing a new vaccine for lung cancer on patients in 7 countries, including Britain, the US, Germany, and Turkey. Details of these and other stories, 2 o'clock.
The Full Circle with Bridget Masinga, Monday to Friday, 1 to 3 p.m.
It is the Full Circle on this very fine Friday afternoon. I actually hope that you are having a great day and you've had a rather productive week. We're catching up now with Kolisile Khumalo, who is the Africa Aerospace and Defense Youth Development Program Chairperson. We're talking the 12th edition of the Africa Aerospace Defense Trade Exhibition that is set to be the biggest and the better show when it kicks off on the 18th until the 22nd of September. How are you doing, Kulisile? Good.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for having us. I truly appreciate the opportunity to be on SAFM.
It's only a pleasure. Okay, so, I mean, you're saying that it's set to be the biggest and better show when it kicks off. Indeed. All right, so what are we to expect? I mean, it's the 12th edition, so you've had 11 years of a trial run.
Absolutely. So it's a biennial event. It happens every 2 years. You know, if you could imagine, you know, the biggest and the best air show on the African continent, number 6 of the best air show and trade exhibition in the world, coming to South Africa. So we're basically bringing the world to South Africa between the 18th to the 22nd of September 2024. The South African Air Force will be flying its assets. We have invited other countries to be flying their assets, to be showcasing their, the best technologies. We have over 24 countries that will be showcasing different defense and general aviation technologies. We have the General Aviation Hub for the first time. We have, it's just going to be fantastic. We have countries like, of course, our country. We have countries in, like China, Turkey, Singapore, Armenia. In Europe, we've got countries like Germany, France, Czech Republic. In the US, of course, in North and South America, you've got USA, Canada, and Brazil is also coming back after being absent for a number of years. So they will be coming to South Africa to showcase, the defense and general aviation technologies. So as we have indicated, it is a trade as well as an air show. So the first 3 days are the trade show. That is where we having buyers, we have military decision makers, we have defense ministers, we have secretaries of defense coming to South Africa to come and have a look at what is on offer. So and that is the key contribution of the AAD. We promote and drive our exports, in South Africa. We create jobs and we contribute to the national fiscus. We facilitate international partnerships, and that's how big this event is.
Yeah. Funny, in my little head, for some reason, I would have thought that when you emphasize that the first 3 days is really a trade event, amongst various ministries and governments and countries, etc. In my head, I would have somehow thought all this happens, behind closed doors in some...
Not at all.
some secret location where the rest of us are not privy to. But
all you need to do, if you are a budding entrepreneur and you want to get into the defense and general aviation space, you go to our website, AAD Expo, and then you register as a trade visitor.
Okay. I mean, how exciting, because it's a foreign world for most of us. It's a foreign world that we know very little about. But how exciting to also have the potential to really just get immersed in everything that is on display and everything that's offered at a trade show of this nature. Because I can imagine it must be just a feast for enthusiasts, because there are people who aren't, professionals in the space, but they're just enthusiastic about the sector. It's a feast for enthusiasts, but also a potential for novices like myself and those who are none the wiser to come and maybe even expand our understanding, knowledge, to just have a glimpse of what's on offer and how this world works.
Imagine an Air Force base with all of the hangars, these huge hangars where you store military aircrafts, the massive military aircrafts. Now they've been removed, and then you come in there, and there are different companies from all corners of the world showcasing from drone technologies, missiles, if you go to the maritime space, showcasing what they are, they are selling in the shipping industry, in the general defense, as I indicated. We take a company like AMSCO, Armaments Corporation of South Africa. They will be showcasing what is it that they actually manufacture and assist the Department of Defense with. If you take an organization like a company like Milco, which is one of our sponsor, our biggest sponsor, they will be showcasing the drone that was designed. They call it the Milco 380. That was designed by engineers here in South Africa. Young, beautiful, successful engineers who built one of the most advanced drones on the African continent. They will be showcasing such things. And then you can imagine the companies around the world with all their technologies occupying each and every hangar. So what we do as AAD, we have what is called national pavilions. So a national pavilion is basically a country like China, for example, will take an entire hangar and they will be bringing organizations or companies from China. So you'll have a full hangar that is now occupied by only Chinese companies. A country like India. So we've got 10 national pavilions, from China, India, Italy, Pakistan, Russia, of course our country as well, South Africa, Brazil, Turkey, USA. So those countries would be having a full hangar showcasing companies from that country. So it's a feast for somebody who wants to enter into the space as a novice, as you indicated. But also, if you are doing research as a budding entrepreneur and you want to get into the space, that is the best place for you to be. That is the best place, because you bring your business cards and you're going to interact with people to say, oh, this is the technology, this is the new technology that I can bring into South Africa, etc., etc.
And as we wrap it up, talk to me about the sort of the developmental aspect of this as well, because you guys actually host learners to come through for these exhibitions.
That is the one thing that the founders of this program did, because of the complex technologies that we're bringing. It is critical that we have the youngsters, and we bring young kids from across the country We're not only bringing kids from Gauteng.
Yeah.
Imagine a small little child. She stays in the deepest part of this country, getting on an aircraft for the first time, flying from, wherever, getting into Oratambo, getting on the Gautrain, coming to the air show, interacting with professional pilots from the South African Air Force, interacting with engineers from AMSCO, interacting with scientists from CSIR, from ATNS, and all of those companies. And that is what we are doing. We're making sure that these learners are exposed to these advanced technologies so that we can have succession planning, we can have talent acquisition.
Yeah.
We want the best minds, the best of the best, because we're looking at these learners that are doing mathematics and science to be part of this event.
Lovely stuff. Listen, I almost want to, nudge you towards bringing our show there, just so that I can just be in the bewilderment of it all, But I think maybe someone who has a better grasp of everything that's being offered, of aerospace and of the defense force, etc. I don't know who that might be in the context of us, but
we want you to come so that you can come and learn about the aviation, the aerospace, and defense. We're looking forward to be hosting you.
There you go. Well, listen, I've planted the seed. So, between yourself and the people that govern us here, maybe we can try and work something out for that. But I appreciate the time with you this afternoon. It sounds really exciting. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so very much. Have a lovely, lovely afternoon and enjoy your weekend. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. It's just gone 22 at 2 o'clock. It's time for us to have a quick break, and then we'll come back on the other side of this and we get into stages, pages, screens, and more.
SAFM is celebrating its 88th birthday, and what better way to celebrate than with you, our loyal listener. We will be giving away 8,800 to 10 lucky listeners during the month of August. To stand a chance of winning, stay tuned to SAFM and SMS the keyword SAFM88 followed by your name to 41391 and listen to the station throughout the day, where you could be selected as a winner. SMSs are charged at R1.50 per SMS. Free SMSs and SMS bundles do not apply.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
The SAFM University Debate Challenge is back. Join us for the 1-hour debate on This Week Today with Oliver Dixon from 6 to 7 p.m. on Friday, the 30th of August 2024 at the SABC in Bloemfontein. The University of the Free State will take on the Central University of Technology in what promises to be a nail-biting debate. The SAFM University Debate Challenge is an independent, non-partisan progressive initiative seeking to develop confident communicators, critical thinkers, and empowered global citizens. If you want to attend the debate, you can email info@safm.co.za. SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. Stages, pages, screens, and more on the Full Circle.
There's so much going on on the show. I hope you watch us on the live stream. I think the live stream allows you to see, most days it's just business as usual. It's me in studio and talking to my guests, and sometimes they switch on their cameras and you can see them coming through on our Zoom feed. And then on most days it's just you and I on the live stream. And then some days there's so much activity here because I've got my eyes cast. I'm just painting you a picture. I've got my eyes cast to the television on the one side, seeing the president. Got my eyes cast to the other television in the front, and then of course I'm having conversations with my team as well as my camera operators. So you get to wonder, if you see the visual, what is going on, but it's all the other things that are in motion behind the scenes. Ndushi, as he joins me now, who is a musician, Afro-pop artist to be specific, born and raised in Durban, KwaZulu-Natal, and Ndu is making waves in the music industry, and we thought that we would invite her on the show for a brief conversation around herself and her music and of course her passions. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm good. Thanks, Bridget. Thank you for having me.
It's only but a pleasure. We appreciate you making the time. So, I mean, am I right to assume that you have a jazz background? You actually went and studied jazz.
For sure. I studied jazz and popular music at UKZN, but I do also have quite a solid background of gospel. I've worked quite intensely in the gospel industry as a backing vocalist, as well as in the secular space, working with artists like Strava, Ricky Rick, aka, as a vocal director. So I've done quite a bit of work.
Yeah.
In the industry.
I mean, interesting that the fact that, one would go, for instance, from being a vocal director, which you'd almost think that the implication was you want to be more behind the scenes, developing artists, helping them on their journey, which is a brilliant thing for those who've chosen that. I think of the likes of R.J. Benjamin, for instance. But you fully are embracing your own position and your own dreams as an artist yourself. Talk to us a little bit also about just your journey through the music industry and the evolution of you.
Absolutely. I think just being a creative through and through, really, if you are, gifted in multiple areas, and you get to some point where you really just want to step out into your own and share your journey, share your story. I'm a singer-songwriter as well and performer, so I've been also, creating my own music, and I'm so fortunate that I finally get to share it with the rest of the world. Yeah.
And for you, the process now of creating your own is very different from when you are coming in and collaborating with someone and helping them on their vision. What has that shift been like for you? And now just focusing on your own projects and your own work.
Sure, it's quite a stretching one, I won't lie. It's also quite a scary one. Because stepping out just on your own 2 feet. But it's quite a beautiful one at the same time, because all these experiences have shaped me as an artist, have also shaped like myself, my journey, my path. I've learned so much from all these artists that I've been working with and all the different spaces that I've tapped into, to now just encompassing all of that experience and pouring it into my own product. And it kind of also shapes my style and my vision and my view in terms of the musical space. So it's beautiful.
You've got a project that's coming out, that's just recently come out, right?
I've got a single that's out, but the album is dropping pretty soon, and people can pre-save it. The link is up on my socials, on Instagram and Facebook. So the album is called This Is For Some, which is dropping on the 4th of October. It's my debut album, and I'm pretty excited for it. So people can definitely pre-add it and pre-save it on all streaming platforms. Yeah.
By way of the body of the album, give us a snapshot of what folks can anticipate from you as an artist.
Definitely some soul. Definitely a bit of jazz, a bit of, the three things that I hold dear to my heart, which is faith, hope, and love, and plays a big part of my story. But just to get a taste of what the album sounds like, they can definitely stream the single, Inclusio, which is out currently. It's out on all digital platforms, so they can definitely, I think that gives a beautiful preview of the album.
Yeah. When you're talking about releasing a single with the album to come, so here's a trick question. I don't know if it's a trick question. It's just an observation on my end. I've noticed that, for the most part, South African artists still very much believe in the releasing of singles and then followed by the full body project. Whereas globally, I see a lot of the bigger artists now over recent years are releasing the full project, and though they may drive a particular radio single, but they release the full project out and then just allow their audiences to immerse themselves in the complete project. Why decide to go the single route? And I think that's primarily driven by our consumerism as well as appreciators of music. We now stream everything, so give us everything all at once, and then we decide for ourselves what we want to download and what we want to listen to.
Definitely. I think different strokes for different folks. I've seen, like, as you're saying, you know, based on observation, perhaps it is what is working for us here at home, you know. Myself, I consider myself to be a new artist in as much as I do have quite a bit of experience working behind the scenes. But when you are introducing yourself, it's always good to just, you know, put out a feeler almost, and just like tease people a bit, you know. I don't know. I think it's something that works for us at home. It's how we do it. Other people do it differently. But
yeah.
Album is coming out pretty soon,
and definitely no wrong or right way to do it, right? It's as you say, to each their own. Ndu Shezi, thank you so much for the time today. It was a pleasure meeting you. And Ndu is a Afro pop artist, and in this day we say it with reservation because next week she could decide Uguti she wants to incorporate other things, and that single is out in Tlizio. The album is soon to follow. Isbusi Sosami. It's just gone 10 to, it's time for us to get into Nalibali, which will take us to the top of the hour with your 2 o'clock news.
Catch the Tastemaster Junior this Tuesday evening at 7 on SABC2 as the top 8 take on a new challenge. This week, they delve into the world of social media and learn what it takes for a recipe video to go viral online. Working together, they must create their own unique version of a famous social media bake. That's the Tastemaster Junior this Tuesday at 7, repeat Wednesdays at 1 and Sundays at 4 p.m. only on SABC2.
Feel Good Fridays just got even better with a brand new Espresso newsletter, the Feel Good Fix. Delivered to your inbox every Friday, it is your weekly dose of joy, entertainment, and local flair. Subscribe now at expressoshow.com and never miss a moment.
From heartwarming stories to tasty recipes, it's all there waiting for you. And remember to tune in to the Espresso Morning Show weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on S3, and let's start your day right and channel your inner feel good.
Get ready for a magical night filled with hope and positivity at the Night of Hope event, 25th August, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. live. Join Lotus FM Pastor Niven Lauman for a special 2-hour broadcast of the Gospel Hour live at one of Durban's most prestigious venues, the Durban Christian Center Dome. This will be a historic reach, calling the greater Durban community to come together for a night of prayer and embrace, together with SABC to present live from the venue to a greater South African audience. Tickets are free. Secure your spot by booking online through Quicket today. Don't miss out on this unforgettable, historic night for South Africa. See you there.
Bridget Masinga on SAFM.
Hello friends, and welcome to another exciting episode of Nalibali. Forgiveness means different things to different people, but in general, it involves an intentional decision to let go of resentment and anger. The act that hurt or offended you might always be with you, but working on forgiveness can lessen the act's grip on you. It can help free you from the control of the person who harmed you. Sometimes forgiveness might even lead to feelings of understanding, empathy, and compassion for the one who hurt you. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or excusing the harm done to you. It also doesn't necessarily mean making up with the person who caused the harm. Forgiveness brings a kind of peace that allows you to focus on yourself and helps you go on with your life. Let's listen to today's story called Rapid Lengths to Forgive, written by Lihlono Loriba. But before we listen to today's story, let's all get up and dance!
Rabbit was hopping around the fields looking for friends who would play with him. He then saw Cat and Rooster playing a hopping game that had squares scratched into the background.
Ooh, I absolutely love hopping games. I'll ask if I can join them,
said Rabbit as he hopped up to Cat and Rooster.
Hello, Cat. Hello, Rooster.
Rabbit greeted them.
Hello, Rabbit.
Cat and Rooster answered at the same time.
May I please come and play with you?
Rabbit asked.
I don't mind you joining us,
said Cat.
I don't mind either,
said Rooster. So Rabbit joined Cat and Rooster. Cat had the first turn. He jumped easily from one square to another until he had completed the whole game. Then Rooster had a turn. He flew from one square to another until he had also completed the whole game. Then it was Rabbit's turn. Because Rabbit was very good at hopping, he wanted to show off his hopping skills and hop higher than Cat and Rooster. Rabbit proudly hopped very high from one square to another. Cat and Rooster were very impressed. As soon as Rabbit had completed the game, he carried on hopping and hopping because he was so happy and proud. He hopped and hopped and hopped and then accidentally hopped on one of Cat's paws.
Ow! Ow, it's so sore. My paws, they hurt. Ow!
Cat cried out in great pain. Rooster rubbed Cat's paw, while Rabbit stood and shook with fear because he could see that he had hurt Cat really badly. Thanks to Rooster rubbing Cat's paw, it soon started to feel better.
I'm very sorry, Cat. It was a mistake. Please forgive me.
Rabbit begged.
It's okay, Rabbit. I know that you didn't mean to hurt my paw. It was a mistake. So I forgive you.
Cat replied. The following day, Rabbit went back to Cat and Rooster with the hope that they would let him play with them again.
Hello, Cat. Hello, Rooster.
Rabbit greeted them.
Hello, Rabbit.
Cat and Rooster said together.
Would you mind if I joined you once again? I had so much fun playing with you two yesterday.
Rabbit asked.
I don't mind you joining us.
Cat said.
I don't mind you joining us either,
said Rooster. Again, Cat had the first turn, then it was Rooster's turn. He flew from one square to another until he had completed the whole game. But as Rooster was flying away, he accidentally flapped his wings in Rabbit's eyes.
Ow! Ow! My eye! Rooster flapped his wing in my eye!
Rabbit cried out in great pain. Cat gently blew cold air into Rabbit's eye to make it better, while Rooster stood and shook with fear because he could see that Rabbit was in great pain. Rabbit's eyes started to feel better.
Oh my! I am very sorry, Rabbit. It was a mistake. Please forgive me.
Rooster begged.
No, what? I will not forgive you. You should be more careful where you flap your wings.
Rabbit replied rudely. Rooster was sad that Rabbit would not forgive her. The following day, Rabbit went back to Cat and Rooster with the hope that they would let him play with them again.
Hello, Cat. Hello, Rooster.
Rabbit greeted them.
Hello, Rabbit.
Rooster and Cat responded together.
Would you mind if I joined you? I had so much fun playing with you two yesterday.
Rabbit asked.
No!
Cat and Rooster said together.
But why not?
Rabbit asked in shock.
The other day, you hopped on my paw by mistake. You asked for forgiveness, and I forgave you. But yesterday, when Rooster flapped his wing in your eye by mistake, you refused to forgive him. So, we don't want to play with you anymore. You don't know how to forgive.
Cat said firmly. Cat and Rooster continued playing on their own. As Rabbit sadly hopped away, he realized that he had been very unfair to Rooster.
Cat, Rooster, please forgive me for not forgiving Rooster when he flapped his wing in my eye by mistake. It was very selfish of me because Cat forgave me when I hopped on her paw by mistake. I am so sorry and I promise I will be forgiving from now on,"
said Rabbit, showing how truly sorry he was. So Cat and Rooster forgave Rabbit, and in turn, Rabbit learned how to forgive others. From then on, the three often played together and always had lots of fun. And so we come to the end of another Nali Bali story time. Today's story was called Rabbit Learns to Forgive, written by Litlonolo Riba. Did you know that reading and telling stories to children at home can help them do better at school? If you want free stories to read to your children or for your children to enjoy on their own, visit Nali Bali website www.nalibali.org or Mobi site www.nalibali.mobi. You will find stories in 11 South African languages, as well as tips for reading and sharing stories with your children to grow their potential. Also look out for the bilingual Nali Bali Reading for Enjoyment supplements with great children's stories and activities available in newspapers. Nali Bali, it starts with a story.
The top stories at 2 o'clock are an improvement in SABC finances and the Enyobeni inquest is postponed. A very good afternoon. The SABC is expected to announce an improvement in its financial performance when it tables its annual report before Parliament next month. Deputy Communications Minister Mondli Kungubele says the public broadcaster is showing signs of improvement and stability. Speaking to our news desk following the public broadcaster's AGM this morning, Kungubele says the entity has significantly reduced its net loss.
If we say SABC is on a healing trajectory, if we talk of a stabilization phase, it has stabilized. What do we mean by that? A lot of things have been stopped from moving in the negative direction. Others are already moving in the positive direction. For instance, from a disclaimer to unqualified is a huge jump. They have reduced the loss very drastically. They have improved their targets. In general, their findings have improved.
The Gauteng Youth Brigade has threatened to shut down the N3 highway between Gauteng and KZN next week. Premier Panyaza Lesufi last year launched the Nasi Ispani mass recruitment program to address unemployment in the province. Former teaching assistants have been unemployed since the end of July and are seeking an audience with the Premier. The GYB says Lesufi failed to fulfill his promise made in a speech earlier this year to give 32,000 teaching assistants permanent contracts following the elections. The group's Sihle Mzizi says they're determined to hold the government accountable.
We had the protest at the Department of Education, and then in the meeting we concluded that after 3 weeks on their side they will go and look for funding for the program to continue on an extension basis while they are waiting for funds from the national government. So our 3 weeks is ending next week on the 28th. On the 28th, we will be there in their offices demanding that response. And if it's not something that we want, we are going to shut down the N3. We're going to stop the economic flow.
The city of Joburg says repairs to Lillian Ngoyi Street, formerly Bree Street, are now expected to be completed next year instead of in December this year. The city fired the contractor due to poor performance. Newly appointed Joburg Mayor Dada Morero says they will make an announcement soon.
And I'll be frank and open, I don't think we should continue and reconstruct the road. I've got a view that probably we should not continue to be building for the car, but we should be building safer places for our residents. and you know that the bulk of the that area that the explosion happened is actually residential. So we have to rethink. But I think we'll come back with a proper announcement soon, whether we continue to rebuild the road, or perhaps we should look at building a park, a six-a-side, so that children have activities there.
The inquest into the deaths of 21 young people who died at the Enyobeni Tavern in June 2022 has been postponed to the 28th of October in the East London Regional Court. The postponement is to give time to witness Tembisa Diko, who is in an emotional state, to continue with her testimony. Evidence leader Advocate Luvuyo Vena has recommended that Diko seek professional help in the form of a psychologist. Sitima Mfeku reports.
Diko was a bouncer at Enyobeni Tavern on the fateful night. In a testimony on Thursday, she told the court that when she got the chance to go to the ground floor, she saw bodies of many patrons, including young people, lying on the floor. She testified that she used a pepper spray to disperse the crowd that was pushing them against the wall, placing her and her colleagues' lives in danger. She told the court that when she alerted tavern owner Siyakangela Ndevu of the uncontrollable crowd, Ndevu failed to intervene. Sidima Mfeku, SABC News, Mdantsane in East London.
And doctors have begun testing a new vaccine for lung cancer on patients in 7 countries, including Britain, the US, Germany, and Turkey. The vaccine, which instructs the immune system to hunt down and kill lung cancer cells, is designed to work in a similar way to many COVID jabs. Professor Chow Ming Lee led the British part of the study.
Lung cancer is the most common cancer. It affected 2.5 million patients worldwide, 1.8 million deaths worldwide. And in UK alone, our survival is still less than 1 year overall for lung cancer population. So we hope this vaccine can improve the lives of many more of our patients worldwide.
The top story this hour, the SABC is expected to announce an improvement in its financial performance when it tables its annual report before Parliament next month. The Full Circle continues. For SAFM News, Kemudupi Makhalemeli.
SAFM 104 to 107 nationwide, leading the conversation.
Every day, our children are exposed to relentless marketing of unhealthy foods where they live, learn, and play. This aggressive marketing of unhealthy foods to children can shape their eating habits and food preferences for the rest of their lives. I'm your host, Crystal Audison. Is Big Food stalking our children? Watch Chew on This on healer.org.
Tugs have a great plan to illustrate that they are not just intelligent students in class, but on the field of play as well. Meanwhile, the Zuma-based outfit want nothing except for 3 points to run away from the unpleasant zone. The capital city confronts eThekwini. This is the Hollywood Bet Super League. Catch the Mzansi Queens of the beautiful game, University of Pretoria Ladies FC versus Lindelani Ladies FC on Sunday 25 August at 11 a.m. live on SABC Sport on DTT Channel 4. Also available at your fingertips on SABC Plus and SABCSport.com. Hashtag We Love It Here. Brought to you by SABC Sport. For the love of the game.
SAFM is celebrating its 88th birthday, and what better way to celebrate than with you, our loyal listener. We will be giving away 8,800 to 10 lucky listeners during the month of August. To stand a chance of winning, stay tuned to SAFM and SMS the keyword SAFM88 followed by your name to 41391 and listen to the station throughout the day where you could be selected as a winner. SMSs are charged at R1.50 per SMS. Free SMSs and SMS bundles do not apply.
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday.
The Full Circle with Bridget Masinga, Monday to Friday, 1 to 3 p.m.
say. After all the things we've done, my words are void, they go straight through, like ghostly letters, floating in a clear blue sky. Living in a fantasy, living in a fantasy. 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 Hey brother, wondering where you're going, with the world against you, oh, weighing you down. And when I ask you what you do, and you say, kind of man I need to fight, kind of man I need to fight. It's in my nature, yeah, 'cause it's in our nature. They've been trying to poison me, poison me. Could it be it was all a dream, all a dream? And they've been trying to poison me, poison me. Could it be it was all a dream, all a dream? Living in a fantasy, living in a fantasy. Living in a fantasy. Living in a fantasy. Living in a fantasy.
It is a Fat Freddy's drop. It's a Friday after all, so on Fridays we pump up and amplify the tempo just a little bit. Fat Freddy's drop. By the way, do you know that Fat Freddy is actually a New Zealand originated 7-piece band? A lot of people don't know this about Fat Freddy's drop, that they're actually from New Zealand, and their style is very much a sort of a combination of dub, reggae, soul, jazz, rhythm and blues, with hints of techno, and I think all those elements come out in this particular song, Wheels, which has become one of their more seminal pieces of work, right? When you think Fat Freddy's drop, you definitely think of this song, amongst others, but Wheels definitely comes to mind. It's just gone 2:15 on this fine Friday afternoon. I hope you are having a great day. We're trying to take it easy and trying to unwind just a little bit. It's been such an event-filled week on the news cycle that it's necessary for us to just take a breath a little bit on a Friday, and try to compartmentalize everything from the week and get ready for the relaxation and the recalibration that comes with the weekend. Joining us now in studio, we've got actor and comedian Simphiwe Majosi, who is here, and we're going to be talking around South Africa's best comedy experience. They say that it's a spectacular comedy show, and it's set to take place come September. But I mean, you're not just a comedian, you're an actor as well.
Yeah.
He was raking me over the knuckles for not watching his show Uzalo. He's currently on Uzalo. How are you doing?
I'm good, and thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Thank you. We appreciate it. No, I mean, you know what? I'm going to binge it one of these days. How about that? I'll make you the deal, Kuti. One of these days, I'm going to binge it. No?
Yeah, please do. Please do. I beg you to do that. Please.
No, I shall. So what comes first, acting or comedy?
Well, I'm going to have to clarify.
Yes, okay, clarify, it's fine.
Okay, I'm actually an actor.
Okay.
Yeah. So now this is what happened when I first got my first role on Uzalo. That was 10 years ago, 2015, season 1, episode 1.
You've been there forever.
Scene 1.
Wait, you were there, episode 1, scene 1?
From day 1,
wow.
After the title sequence, that was me with my short dreadlocks by the time. So, and then by the time the character that they gave me, by the time it was growing,
yes,
it happened that I am, yes, humorous, but I'm not actually a comedian. So I used to put some of my things, like maybe on the script, I'd be given like a serious script. And then when it's time to shoot, I would come up with ideas with, how can I make this a bit funny, because the story was a bit too serious by the time. It was gangster has this side, a lot of drama, like a township drama, and the Kwamashu, Kwamashu. You've heard of Kwamashu,
Of course, I'm a Durban girl.
Home girl. So now I had to put those elements. Then after that, everyone was like, Baba, you're a comedian. Yeah, you are a comedian. That's why even this show that we are bringing up, that's how it came about. Because everywhere I used to go, people would ask me, my brother, when are you going on stage? When are you doing your stand-up comedy show, your things? Then I'm like, hey, guys, when you end up explaining same thing now and again.
Yes.
And then I was like, okay, I will maybe regard myself now as a comedian.
Okay.
But I am not like a full comedian like
Abo
Felix. So Felix, that's where they started, which this is my thing,
Yes.
So namang funu gena endaweni yabo. So and then until now abantu they regard me as a comedian. But what comes first? Acting. Okay.
Yeah. You can take off the headphones, by the way. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Okay, so you would be what they call a comedic actor.
Yeah. The one that brings that humor in the story,
You are a comedic actor. All right. Okay, there we go. A clarification. And of course, you've been enjoying the journey, being in front of the screen. You love it?
A lot.
Yeah?
A lot. Yeah, because my first love in acting theater. That's where I started. You know, I started doing stage plays. You know, from school until after matric, and then I still continued, and then I ended up doing like theater professionally for quite some time. I did a couple of shows, big shows there in Durban and around like Pretoria State Theatre. We used to go there. So that was my first love of theater, and then TV came along. You know, this day I remember I was with my friend Thokozane, who was playing Kumbulani on Mubango. So he told me about the auditions. The funny story, I was not there to audition because I was like, you know, when you're so into theater, you're like, Eish man, the TV can't give a privacy, so I was scared of that. Yeah, boy, I'm a very reserved person, but I had to go and then accompany my friend, and then he told me, you know what, go and try it. Yeah, here's a script, go and try. And then they gave me a number. I was there, and then next thing, I'm getting a call back. From a call back, they said, here's a role for you. It's a role Gasbu. Yes. And that role, I was only there for one scene. For one scene. I was only booked for one scene, and that was it. So then Mr. Tumandlovu, the creator of the show, he saw my performance, and he fell in love with it, and he said, you know what, let us write maybe something that can last for a month or two. So that happened, and then from that month or two, here I am now, 10 years after, on season 10. You know?
So from one scene on episode 1, scene 1 to 10 years later. Like, I love it for you. I love it because clearly there was talent there.
Yeah.
There was talent there that was seen, but more than that, also it was just the aligning of everything, right?
Of everything, yeah,
the aligning
exactly.
of everything. You know, Skumba talks about this a lot as well. When one listens to Skumba would often talk about how when he started in comedy, yes, he used to do comedy, go Tembisa, and was doing things in the community. And he'd say, Guti, I just went to do one little thing with Bob. You know, just one thing that then turned to, do you want to come back next week Friday?
Oh yeah, I think I saw an interview. Yeah. He was
and then
that.
Next week Friday became, how about you stay for a couple of months?
And then look at him now.
I love it. The Americans call it, your 5 minutes of fame can definitely last a lifetime.
And exactly.
Speaking of Abo Kumba, Nabo Uskumba, Nabo Felix. So this show, South Africa's Best Comedy Experience.
Yeah.
This is something that you guys have put together. Essentially, you're going to be emceeing and running the whole evening.
Yeah, so I'll be the driver. Let me call myself a driver of the whole show. So I'll be emceeing on this one because I do MC jobs a lot.
Yes.
You know, because I don't do stand-up comedy. You know, I've never done it. So now that's why when we were putting together this show, we were like, do we really have to go and look for an MC who's a comedian who does a stand-up comedy? And all eyes just turned on me, and they were like, no, ukhona lo. So usinayo. I was like, okay. The whole team was like, Baba, come on, go do this. You always do it. Like when I'm on stage, I usually throw those lines, you know, to make people laugh. So now they're also now regarding me as a comedian, as I was saying.
Yes, I love it for you. So tell us a bit about the show. You know, what are we to expect? It's happening at the Joburg Theatre in September the 22nd. So it's a one night only show. All right, tell us more.
All right, yeah, it's one night only. It's gonna start 3 p.m. and so as I said, Uguti, I look toward this question of Uguti, when are you doing your show? When are you doing your stand up? And then this is how this show came about. Uguti, you know what? I was talking with my brother, Kolani Machozi, who's the manager of Ladysmith Black Mambaza, and he said, you know what? I think now this is the time you answer that question. And I said, how? He said, we make a show and then you go MC on that show, and then people will be answered, because now I'm bringing all the guns, I bringing all the friends who are in the
comedy space,
comedy space full time. You know, so I'm answering that question. This is what I'm doing. So it's gonna be a beautiful and a very nice, very full of fun evening. We've got Skumba, Felix Lope, Mashabela, Tumi Morake, and Simpiwe Shembe. You know, so kuzoba mnandi kakhulu. Abantu nje they should make sure they get there, they get their tickets, web tickets, and make sure they get there. It's gonna be very nice. It's gonna be very nice.
I mean, I'm interested in the fact, Guti, you said the show starts in go 3. I've never been to a comedy show that has a matinee time start. Because I also know, Guti, this lineup does not speak to family entertainment. So there's no way I'm bringing my children to come watch Skumba nomlomo wake and Felix Ganye, same boat, these ones.
Kandi don't worry, there are reasons sibeke ku 3 p.m. because sifuna ukuthi nje sibe open kakhulu nabo. They also know ukuthi, guys, as you can see, ukuthi this is 3 p.m. and they are good at the craft yabo, and you know they are very disciplined professional comedians, so they know what to do on the day. So you should not stress ukuthi it's 3 p.m. bringing my kids and all that. No, kulega, everything will be content, so kuzobe ku right, kuzoba mnandi. Yeah, kuzoba mnandi. Yeah.
Simply, I'm still not bringing my children. if I had children, I still would not bring my children. So it's a matinee show at the Joburg Theatre, because it is also Sunday, I guess. So it's in fitting with the culture of theatre to have a matinee show. But he's here, and I'm saying it to his face. It's not family entertainment for children.
But you know,
under a specific age.
That being said. You can never trust Skumba.
You cannot trust Skumba.
Trust Felix. You can tell him, guys, so don't cross this line, don't cross. But trust me, those guys,
he's going to cross
give them the mic.
Yeah, no, it's not even to me being the rose amongst the thorns, Kwayena self, she's not a person that when the mic is been handed to her, anything can happen. I mean, Skumba had his annual farewell to the year show last year, and his mother was in the room.
Wow.
And every time Skumba had the mic in his hand, he said things that I'm sure even his mother was like, "Hey, when?"
She ended up questioning herself. You can imagine.
You see, but I mean, it's a wonderful lineup, and I love the fact that is it deliberate, Guti? Dumi is the only rose amongst the thorns.
Yes. Yabona to bring Usis Dumi, because you know when we were putting together a lineup, we were like, guys, as much as most of the time, because usually try to get on my shows, usually it's guys, and sometimes women, we do have women comedians. So we also thought, you know what, since this is our first show, why not we also bring so to make that balance, we have our own female South African comedians who are good and who are best. So that's why we pulled through Udum. You know what, my sister? I
like it. All right, so it's a date. We appreciate you coming. That was actor and of course reluctant comedian Simpiwe Majosi. That show, South Africa's Best Comedy Experience, is on at the Joburg Theatre on the 22nd of September. It's a Sunday. It's a wonderful matinee show starting at 3 p.m. and tickets are on sale starting from 250 rands. So you can get your tickets. You can either look at the Joburg Theatre website, or is it Quicket?
It's web
tickets.
Yeah, it's
web tickets has got you covered. Let's take a commercial break here, and then we come into the headline news on the other side of this. Veteran actor Vusi Kunene joins us for full access.
Winners, finalists, fan favorites, and viral sensations from previous seasons of America's Got Talent return to the stage to compete for the All-Star title. Join Heidi Klum, Howie Mandel, and Simon Cowell as they decide who is the best of the best. The creme de la creme, the top dog, is in Tamatota. It's a festival of talent on America's Got Talent All-Stars. Saturdays at 6:30 p.m. on S3. Channel your best entertainment with America's Got Talent All-Stars. Only on S3. Open up.
We can do this. It's been a long time coming. This deserves to grow. It's a great business. If they don't like it, someone else will. And fund me so I can expand. Maybe I can offer them shares. I need to retain equity for staff. It's going to be good for recruitment. Yeah.
Possible begins with that one great idea. When Telkom enables entrepreneurs to make their ingenuity a reality, we grow local economies. Telkom. Possible begins here.
Borussia Dortmund understands the delight that comes with triumphing the opening clash of the league race. But Eintracht Frankfurt are not about dropping points this early. They want to complete their visit to Signal Iduna Park with 3 incredible points. This is the Bundesliga. Football as it's meant to be. Catch the hot contest between Borussia Dortmund and Eintracht Frankfurt on Saturday, 24 August at 6:30 p.m. Live on SABC Sport on DTT Channel 4 and at your fingertips on SABC Plus. Also available on sabcsport.com. Hashtag We Love It Here. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
Bridget Masinga on SAFM.
A very good afternoon. With the news headlines, Mudupi Makhalemele. Police in the Eastern Cape have launched an extortion hotline number in Mthatha. The SABC is expected to announce an improvement in its financial performance when it tables its annual report before Parliament next month. And doctors have begun testing a new vaccine for lung cancer on patients in 7 countries, including Britain, the US, Germany, and Turkey. A full news update coming up 3 o'clock.
The SAFM University Debate Challenge is back. Join us for the 1-hour debate on This Week Today with Oliver Dixon from 6 to 7 p.m. on Friday, the 30th of August 2024 at the SABC in Bloemfontein. The University of the Free State will take on the Central University of Technology in what promises to be a nail-biting debate. The SAFM University Debate Challenge is an independent, non-partisan progressive initiative seeking to develop confident communicators, critical thinkers, and empowered global citizens. If you want to attend the debate, you can email info@safm.co.za. SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. Bridget Masinga on SAFM.
So I am joined in the studio now by veteran actor. I mean, you don't have to put those on. It's fine. You can put them on maybe later if someone wants to talk to you. Veteran actor, none other than Vusi Kunene joins me now. I think he is a South African television treasure. He's graced our screens. By my estimation, I would say probably for close on 4 decades now. No? Maybe 3 decades. Okay, I wasn't too far off. And he's built quite the household name, especially as the villain Jack Mabaso in the soapy Generations, to which he's just recently returned again. But he's got an extensive credit list under his belt, both in television as well as in theatre, having worked on some really cool titles and really formidable productions as well, the likes of Cry, The Beloved Country, for instance. And the one thing that I did not know about you is that you are actually a graduate of the Wits School of Drama. How are you doing, Vusi? You good?
I'm alright, thanks. How are you, Bridget?
I'm good. I haven't seen you in forever.
Yeah, I think the last time I saw you was where?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I have no idea. Okay, if it's scandalous, keep it to yourself.
Yeah, I'll keep it to myself.
But I didn't know that you were a graduate of the Wits School of Drama. You've got a degree in dramatic arts.
Yes.
How wonderful.
Yeah, I had a feeling that I needed to study something.
Yeah.
and then I studied what I wanted to do. So I went to do drama, and it became very, very useful. It turned out very, very useful because, when you grow up doing theatre in the township, there's so many things that you don't pay attention to. Yeah. So going to study drama opened my eyes to a lot of things. This is big. It's not just about acting. It's not just about being directed. There's so much to it. And a lot of people that I studied with, we were going for acting, but they ended up doing other things because they also found out that there's so much you can do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it exposes you to the entire industry, not just to being a performer, but to every role in the ecosystem.
Absolutely. And there are things that even just doing media, media studies, a lot of we have people in the media now that I went to study with.
Lovely. So you say you had a feeling, an inclination that you needed to study something. I mean, were you not decided on where to go when you were in high school, what to do?
In my time, high school, they never talk about the arts.
Yeah.
You had to be a doctor or a lawyer or a teacher, things like that. So now when I had this love for the arts, there was this feeling that there's security in this. Your family will also be asking questions. You see what happens with the artists and all that. So I felt, okay, let me go study. I will study what I love to do, and surely I will find something there. There's got to be a sense of security, but also it was just feeling that I need to study something, so that's how it happened. And but the good thing was that before I went to VETS, I was working with some of the students, VETS students, who were tutoring me we had classes on Saturdays, drama classes, and some of the lecturers they also used to tutor us there. So I got that feeling, I got that sense of what it would be like. And when I went there, I had an idea what I would be doing, why I'm actually studying, and what I want to achieve, and then it opened up a lot of things.
Yeah. Well, were you also at sort of, as the many moving components of this show happen behind the scenes, were you also part of that era of protest theatre, of community protest theatre, like in the early 80s, mid 80s? Did you come out of that crop of thespians as well?
I worked with a lot of people who did protest theatre. We did it on a very small scale. In that school that I went to on weekends, we did plays that were about politics. So we went to communities to perform them. So yes, I would say yes, I was part of a protest theatre. Not in the same weight as Babu John Kani. But the fact that we went to communities to perform those plays that were about apartheid, were about us in those days. Yes, I would say yes, I was part of the protest theatre.
Lovely. We are in studio today, and of course we've got our guest joining us for full access, Vusi Kunene. He is a veteran South African actor. We're getting to know him a little bit better and find out more about his journey. We're also live streaming the conversation, so if you jump on to any of our SAFM platforms, be it on social media or of course be it on our site safm.co.za, you will definitely find the live stream there. Let's talk about the early days of your career. And what sort of working in the 90s, for instance, what was that like? Because whilst you were actually at WITS, you also got cast in professional roles, from what I read. But what was that landscape like back then, compared to sort of what it is like now in like 2024?
Back then, I feel we were artists. You know, we used to jam. You know, you get artists coming together. We used to make things happen. We were not celebrities then. We were just actors who liked to make things happen. We used to go around just starting performances anywhere, everywhere. And I think back then we were more united than we are now. We knew a lot about each other. We hung out a lot. We had a great passion for the arts. For me back then, it was something I would have done for free. You know, I just wanted to be an artist. And then, but as you grow, it becomes, you know, you get responsibilities and it becomes a job, you know, and the challenge is keeping it artistic in you. You know, back then, theater was big.
Yeah.
And I think theater is the foundation of performance, is very important. So now we are more into television. Not even film, more television. So that is the difference. Back then we had theater, we had television, we had film. So you know, you were covered all around. I think the last time I did film was early this year, and before that it had been a while. You know, so you know, we are more into television. I think we need challenging things that challenge us as artists that we had back in the 80s, back in the 90s. Right now, I wouldn't say it's easy. No, it's not easy, but it's kind of got diluted. You know, we need to bring that dye back. You know, make it strong again, so that even the ones that are coming up now, they come into something that is solid, and they must feel like they are artists, not just celebrities.
And you know, I want to sort of touch on that as well, but you said two interesting things, right? Because it's always interesting when actors talk around just the challenge of the material, and theatre has always been that space, as you say, for actors, where they get to really just exercise their muscle and challenge themselves in those ways. But we're also seeing the move towards television, and with all the new like streaming platforms now, and the dynamism of stories that's being told. Like if you look at international megastars, people who were just film stars back in the day, are now doing more and more television. And I think that speaks to, one, us as viewers and consumers, we are gravitating towards more home-based entertainment. And so that needs to now rise to the levels of the theatre, and in the storytelling and the writing and the kind of three-dimensionalness that they bring to stories now is also become rather exciting, right? You watch things on like the streaming platforms, I wanted to say which one, and you go, how did you even dream up the story? Because it's so complex and it's so deep, and you know, the twists and the turns and the challenges, and it's told in a 6-part series, and it's in and it's done. And I think that speaks a lot to how we are also consuming your talents as people who work in these spaces. And it's good to see people becoming creative in these new platforms, making storytelling work, because you know, you can't go. I think it would be a pity if we were to just, people didn't go to the theater. We just televised theater. There's just something about sitting there, you know, watching a play, and as much as we have grown digitally, I still think we still need that culture of sitting, watching and listening, you know, going through that journey, you know, because watching anything actually is a journey. You go on a journey, but sitting there knowing that you can't rewind, you can't do anything, you know, that's even more challenging. I have this plea to all the artists, to the departments, to please let us bring back theatre. Theatre is very important. Theatre is like
idlozi kusemsamo lapha. We need that. We need that. Ama-gadgets lawa siyawaphatha, we have them, we go anywhere with them, but that's just the thing of being in the theater, watching a play, and also performing theater. It's so different to what I do every day now.
I get you.
Yeah, the challenge there, I really, really want for our kids to actually experience that.
You actually gave me goosebumps. By the way, our lines are open if you do want to share, a memory or an experience growing up watching Vusi Kunene, be it on theatre, be it on television, where he spent quite a number of his years, on 086 000 2032 or 061 410 4107 is our WhatsApp line. You are more than welcome to do so. In fact, we would love you to do so, because who hasn't grown up watching Jack Mawaso? Come on. Amongst the many things that he's done. So 086 000 2032 is our number. And of course, our WhatsApp is 061 410 4107. If you want to send a WhatsApp voice note, you're more than welcome to do so. You gave me goosebumps when you're talking now about theatre commanding you to be in a sort of different mental and physical frame, right? The sitting there, the being immersed in the moment, in the words, because as you said it, I thought, actually, you're very correct. It calls for you to be still and present with the performer in a very intimate setting, because it's quite small, to share the various energies of the people that are in the auditorium with you. And energies communicate, right? What people are feeling, it sort of goes through their pores and out their tentacles, and it fills the room. So if we are in a collective discomfort at that time, we are in a collective discomfort. Whatever you're processing, you are processing it with 200 other people in that moment, and very, very different from being at home where you can escape.
Yes.
If something gets too intense, you can pause and quickly go to the kitchen to recalibrate for 30 seconds and then come back and engage it differently again.
Yeah, when you perform on stage, there are things that you feel that when I say these things, I know they hate me when I do that, and it's something. When you say it, when they respond, it's like they're really throwing it back at you. When they love it, it comes back at you. You feel everything. You feel all the emotions right there. And when you're not doing it right, it's like it comes back to you. So that is the challenge. A challenge that you can never find on television. Because on television you're nice and protected. It's all nice and comfortable.
Take three.
But it does have its discomforts.
Yeah.
Because you hate doing more than one take. You want to do one. When you do one take and it's good, it feels good, because it's just like theater.
Yes.
You do one take, you only have one chance. But the thing is with theater, if you mess it up, you have to fix it yourself.
Yeah,
you fix it yourself, and that is the beauty of it. And then if you can't fix it, and then you wish somebody would face the audience for you. You don't want to go out there.
At this time, let's put on your headphones, and then we'll get into our calls. 086 000 2032 is the number that you can call us on in studio, or 061 410 4107 is our WhatsApp line. Let's go to East London. Is it Nedi? How are you?
I'm doing fine. Very fine, Bridget. And yourself?
We are great. Go ahead.
Oh, good afternoon to Mr. Jack Mawaso too.
Yes, I want to
That's my favorite character in generation. I don't have the time to watch TV, but he's the one who made me watch TV. I hope he's wearing those gloves there too.
No, he's not wearing the gloves.
He's not wearing the gloves.
No.
Right now I'm Vusi. I'm not Jack.
It is the glove. It is the figure. It's defining him in generation.
Oh, thank you,
in fact, on a serious note, Bridget.
Yes.
I can see now nowadays that they give a honor to those to the play song, the characters, where even here in East London, in one of the former white school, called it's Hudson Park, they honor who came there. So the theater there, and then they name after him. So, which is to me
lovely.
They are doing a very right thing.
Lovely.
Let me thank Mr. Mabaso. Thank you for entertaining us. Yeah, keep doing that.
Let's just quickly go to an ad break, and then we'll come back and take the rest of the calls.
Catch the Tastemaster Junior this Tuesday evening at 7 on SABC2 as the top 8 take on a new challenge. This week, they delve into the world of social media and learn what it takes for a recipe video to go viral online. Working together, they must create their own unique version of a famous social media bake. That's the Tastemaster Junior this Tuesday at 7, repeat Wednesdays at 1 and Sundays at 4 p.m. only on SABC2.
Everyone is just as important as you are. Stop gender-based violence. Treat others the way you want to be treated. No one deserves any form of violence. Report gender-based violence. Contact Lifeline South Africa toll-free number on your mobile phone. Call or WhatsApp 0800 150 150. That's 0800 150 150. Lifeline South Africa. Mental and emotional health for all. This is an SABC supported initiative.
SAFM is celebrating its 88th birthday, and what better way to celebrate than with you, our loyal listener. We will be giving away 8,800 to 10 lucky listeners during the month of August. To stand a chance of winning, stay tuned to SAFM and SMS the keyword SAFM88 followed by your name to 41391 and listen to the station throughout the day where you could be selected as a winner. SMSs are charged at R1.50 per SMS. Free SMSs and SMS bundles do not apply.
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy
Arts, culture, and robust conversations with Bridget Masinga.
Hi Bridget, I'm so glad you guys have Wusikunene as a guest today because firstly, I have a huge crush on him. I've had a huge crush on him since Generation days. But I just want to say that he is an amazing performer. He's an amazing entertainer. He embodies every single character that he portrays. The only reason I watch House of Zwide is because of him. So I just want to wish him so well in everything that he does. And thank you so much for having him on the show.
Oh, look at that. Crushes all around. You get that a lot, though. And he gets all shy about it. So here's the thing. So I first met Vusi, obviously, like everyone else, I grew up watching Generations. And then I joined the cast of Generations for a short while. I didn't want to stay, though, because I don't want to get sucked into the whole soapy machine. And so I was like, no, Muneen, I want to just 6 months, and then I want to continue with all my other TV work. You were one of the first people. I had Sophie here about 3 months ago, and I was saying to her as well that joining a cast like that as a young non-actor, it was my first acting gig, right? And you are so scared because it's a big cast, it's a recognized cast, it's Generations is Generations, right? Yeah. I was so scared. I was just like, oh my god. And yourself and Sophie and Connie were the first 3 people I met on that set. And you guys are humongous legends in your own rights. And y'all, all individual of y'all in your individual corners were so welcoming. You were so warm. You'll set me at ease. So I remember even where I met you the first time, we were in the canteen. I was waiting for a scene in the actors lounge. And you came up to me and you introduced yourself to me, which I was just like, what is that? You introduced yourself to me. And I was like, I can't believe he's introducing himself to me. And you were just so warm and you told me to just relax, to enjoy every moment, to have fun. You welcomed me with such an open heart. I really, after that first 2 days, I was like, okay, I love these people even more. You know, because it's so easy as the veterans that you are and the celebrated, talented people that you are, to be in a space like that and lead with that. And lead with, we have seniority in the space by experience, by who we are, by gravitas, by and you didn't, which is wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, I feel if I'm going to work with you, you need to be comfortable. You need, and also it's important that we both understand what we are doing.
Yeah.
You know, if you come and you don't know the story, because sometimes as just a guest, you just come in, they gave you pages.
Yes.
You don't know what's going on. I need you to know so that we do this very honestly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Appreciate it. Babalu in Johannesburg, how are you?
And how are you?
I'm great, thank you. Go ahead.
No, nothing much, man. I just want to say, bravos, keep it up. We're looking after you, man. We actually, what a legend. I think there's someone who sent a VN on WhatsApp about watching House of Sweet, and just a little bit. There was a wedding. I think it was Nkosi and Shoki's wedding. It was the outfit that you were wearing that in that day that I admire you so much that even my traditional wedding I got that outfit. So we're looking after you. Keep it up, man. Thanks.
Thank you. Mpoi in Santon, how are you doing?
Hi, Bridget. I'm okay. How are you?
We are good. Go ahead.
Okay. Let me make my disclosure here.
It must be a short disclosure, Mpoi, because we're running out of time.
Alrighty. This is Mpho Tsedu, and yes, I sit on the board of the SABC, but I'm calling now in my capacity as a practitioner and a media practitioner as well. Vusi, my brother, my Grootman, and I just wish South Africa could have the honor to experience your craft on stage, where all this attention is not yet accorded to that space. I've worked with you personally in the spaces that we have.
Yeah.
And I still think that television is robbing us of your talent.
Yeah.
Oh, he got cut off. Askies. Don't hold it against us when you'll have the board meeting. But wonderful. Let me ask you quickly, because I'm running out of time. When did you know that you were famous?
The line made me famous. Everywhere I turned, people recognized me, and I hadn't expected it to happen yet, but it was just happening. Yeah, the line started it all.
Really?
Yeah.
Fabulous. We love to hear these stories. And then, in my last moment, quickly, you touched on celebrity, right? And I was saying when you were making your way out here that as famous as you are, because you are one of those people now where when people refer to you as Jack Maba, so it's almost like people forget you are Vusi Kunene, like they see the character before they see you, right? Yeah. How do you maintain the anonymity of being Vusi Kunene? Where, how do you manage to separate those in your real life? Because you're famous, but we don't really hear much about Vusi Kunene.
I don't know. I'm a very private person. As much as I love fame, everybody loves fame, but I'm also a very private person. I feel that my personal things are my personal things. I will share my talent with my people, my followers, but my private life is my private life. I'm not perfect, but I do not want my closet open to the public. No, I fight for that.
Lovely stuff. We thank you so much for coming through and spending your Friday with us. We appreciate it a lot. Hopefully he got permission from the line producer to be here before people start holding grudges on us, saying our actors are taking off so that they can come be on, the full circle with you. How dare you?
We need to come here. They know that.
You absolutely do. That was Vusi Kunene, and that is how we wrap up the show from our end today. Thank you for allowing us to keep you company during the course of the week. We know you could have chosen to be anywhere, and you choose to be with us every single day. From myself and my team, inshallah, God willing, we get to do it again.
Here, there, and everywhere. SAFM 106.1 FM in Bombela.
The top stories this hour: an extortion hotline number launched in Mthatha and an improvement in the SABC's finances. A very good afternoon. Police in the Eastern Cape have launched an extortion hotline number in Mthatha. The initiative is one of the attempts to gather information and to gauge the magnitude of the problem of